Hi, everyone. I'm Cynthia Toussaint.
And I'm John Garrett with Women in Pain Nation. Yes, that's me.
Good job.
Right.
And today we are kicking off a brand new project that we are calling Partners in Pain.
We are Partners in Pain. This is so exciting for
Yes.
sure. And what that includes is Cynthia and I moderating a panel with another couple.
That's right. And one who's got pain and one who is the caregiver, just like us.
It does sound familiar.
Right?
So,
it works.
And what we're going to do is to share our lived experiences as partners, dealing with the challenges, pitfalls, and the silver linings of the chronic pain experience.
That sounds good to me. And before you get to introduce today's spectacular couple, lucky you, we just want to say a little bit about ourselves. So I have lived with high impact chronic pain for 43 years. It started with complex regional pain syndrome. I think at last count, I have 19 overlapping conditions. Boy, they're fun to collect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also fought triple negative breast cancer twice since 2020. How do you fit into that?
Well, I definitely fit into this, as I've been your day-to-day caregiver for 43 years. There you go.
And
I've been around.
I love you for it and for everything else. And together we run the nonprofit For Grace, where we help women and sometimes even men with high impact, persistent pain and their wonderful caregivers. So now you get to introduce our guest.
I do. I am going to introduce our couple today, our amazing duo, amazing, beautiful people, Tom Norris and Marianne Muellerleile.
Muellerleile.
That's what I said.
Okay.
So let me tell you a bit about Tom and Marianne. Tom is a retired lieutenant colonel from the United States Air Force. He is a nationally recognized advocate for chronic pain and patient engagement, medically retired due to cancer-related chronic pain. He now facilitates peer-led support groups and serves as a patient advisor, merit reviewer, and guideline panelist with NIH, PCORI, and many other
Doesn't sound retired to me.
Doesn't sound very retired to me.
Just saying.
And let me tell you a little bit about Marianne. Marianne is a veteran professional actor and Tom's wife and primary caregiver. She is active in advocacy efforts, bringing a caregiver's voice to national discussions. Oh, I love this. On equity and care. Together, they champion the inclusion of patient and caregiver voices across healthcare and research.
So I've already cried and I've applauded. So all of that being said, so beautifully welcome Marianne and Tom. There you are. Look at you guys. Thank you so much for being our inaugural Partners in Pain couple.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you.
Great to see you.
And how was the traffic all the way from LA?
Yeah. We're on the other side of the hill.
No.
Okay, we're all in LA. I love that.
Well, one thing, it was great. Two people in different parts of LA. If the big one hits, we'll both know it at the same time. So we'll all be juggling around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That.
I know.
What a way to start. What a way to start. My goodness.
Yeah.
And when I reached out to you and asking you to be our guest today, I had a topic idea. We're going to have a different topic for each couple. And I had one idea, and lovely Marianne, you came back giving this exact same idea. So the topic is decidedly chronic pain and travel, which is a great passion of all of ours. So I think that's going to work just beautifully.
Yeah.
I guess great minds think alike, right?
Clearly. That's why I wasn't involved with the deciding of the topic.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, that's why. Anyway, but yeah, in terms of travel, I mean, it is something. Travel is a wonderful thing. And it is, but on the flip side, it can be challenging, can be a hard task to take on with all the hotels and the
planes,
trains, and automobiles, and all that business. So it can be challenging for able-bodied people, but obviously, if you have chronic pain, it can be especially so. But yet we still do it.
We do.
But before we jump into the talking about the challenges and maybe the pitfalls of travel, I just thought we'd have a little bit of fun and maybe talk about what are some of the more far-flung or maybe exotic places we've been. What about you two?
Other than the bedroom.
Oh, oh my!
Sorry.
Oh
I
my.
did it.
Somebody had to
said
go
that.
there.
Oh, I'm
But-
sorry.
So, okay. What about you?
Did
Tom?
I say that?
I don't know.
I'm
What about you, Tom and Marianne? Oh
Well,
my!
I think we've been to really a lot. I mean, Morocco, South Africa, New Zealand,
Woo.
Australia, Singapore, Bali, most of Europe. I don't even mention Europe because we've gone so often to that. But I wanted to also say that when he first became disabled, I always wanted to travel. So when he first became disabled, we put a mattress in the back of a van and drove about 6,000 miles around the country.
I love that. Wow. And we can all afford to do that. I love that. Wow. Oh, okay. And you've been to some places that I still want to go to, you guys. Probably a lot of places. What are some of our far-flung places?
Yeah,
I'm thinking of
well, that was it was quite a list there. I think
I know. A South Pacific island called Moorea. That was my most beautiful
Tahiti,
place.
Moorea, that was
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous, of course.
And like
then
you, Europe a lot.
we
Last year we went to Iceland,
right,
and Greece was wonderful.
that was
Like,
was
and
tremendous.
we loved
Greece
Italy,
is everything.
France, yeah.
The Greek Isles is everything everybody
Yeah.
has ever talked about. At that, and we went to took a trip, like a road trip through New Zealand for a couple of weeks.
That's right. In
That was-
Australia.
Yeah, and dipped into Australia.
Yeah. Dipped in.
We Costa Rica.
Oh
was,
yeah, it was really great.
remember the flying frogs?
The flying frogs in Costa
Yeah.
Rica, and of course Tanzania and Zanzibar, who we named our cat after Africa. So yeah, John's been to South Africa. I have not been there. It was when I was too sick to go. But yeah,
That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot.
yeah. So okay, so
Another
those are
lifetime
far
ago.
flung. But you know what? My favorite trip I think is of every year. We have a colleague who has a cabin in Kings Canyon National Park. We love to go up to that cabin, just get out in
Yeah.
nature, reconnect, and yeah, we love that. And we would love to camp in our backyard, but we live in a condo and don't have a
Yeah,
backyard.
there's not much in the backyard. We could
So yeah,
we
that
could
would be
hang a
fun.
hammock in our back
Yeah.
balcony. I think
We could do
that's
that.
close enough. But anyway,
Yeah.
so you know,
So okay, so let's get down and dirty with this. So I think I already
we
did.
already
Okay.
have.
So so tell me about some of the
Keep going.
Tom. Okay, so tell me about some of the challenges that you have dealt with traveling with chronic pain. I'm sorry.
That's
This is
right.
serious.
First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity. This is really a great chance to bring travel to the forefront. Traveling was kind of nebulous subject when I first became disabled. We did things like go to a nearby hotel for the weekend.
Yeah.
We did home exchange. Where we actually changed houses with somebody, and it was really close. We went to San Diego and went up the coast and did small weekend trips because that's all I could stand. The pain was omnipresent, and I was at that point in time I was having a really hard time dealing with it. But the big trouble was the aggravation of pain when we traveled, combined with the fatigue. That's the reason we did the mattress in the back of the van, because traveling on roads or traveling period aggravated the pain, and the fatigue wound up taking over. So I couldn't drive, I couldn't do anything. And we've taken the lessons we learned for the little short trips and expanded it to the how we deal with big trips. We build in a day for me to recover.
Right. Wow. Yes.
Mhm.
Smart.
Yeah, and we do things like use the wheelchair in terminals, and we take a wheelchair with us, so I can. One of the memories I have of Europe was Marianne having to carry the wheelchair up and down the stairs in the train stations.
Yes.
Wow, Marianne, can
Yes.
you start traveling with
Sounds
us? Wow,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Been my experience also.
I wrote down, Tom and I haven't discussed any of this, so I wrote down different things. Of course, I remember all that, but
Yeah.
but specific problems. We went to Peru,
Love to go to
Oh, my.
Peru.
And
The trip almost killed me.
Wow.
we learned he can never do second or third world countries. So I do those on my own.
Okay.
But and when I have friends that travel to places I haven't been, I ask them to, if they can just keep an eye out to see if there's any accommodation for people who are handicapped. And
Yeah.
you can tell when you go to a Peru, you don't see people in wheelchairs or people in leg braces or people with crutches. They're inside.
Yes, we've learned that. We've learned that because I asked.
And I saw there's nobody outside. Anyway, so I remember in Peru, in Lima, we rented a wheelchair from the tour company that was going to put us on a bus and just take us around Lima. And we got the wheelchair from them. It absolutely did not work at all.
Really?
It was extraordinary.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, we paid for this, minimal, I will say, but it didn't work. So I went into a museum while Tom sat outside in the sun and waited, and just it didn't work. It was amazing. Also,
So frustrated.
Very frustrating.
It was that way in Havana for us, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Havana had many issues.
And then I remember we love Rome, especially Tom loved it. We both love Rome, but the cobblestones
we did
really
too.
hard. They're really hard.
I thought of that. Wheelchair cobblestones, we've gotten good at it, but it took a long time. Finally, John just pulls the wheelchair back and we go fast.
Yeah.
I know, it's great. Yeah, you got it. You got it, Tom.
And we also found that if we take a cab or an Uber and he holds onto the handrail up next to his face, he can lift himself off the seat because for him, the vibrations are what increases his pain.
Okay. Me too. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Oh gosh, totally. Interesting.
The hop on and hop off bus, which is, it's a organization that's worldwide. We've used it many, many times in different countries. But if you get a two-decker bus, the vibrations don't reach the second deck. So we would stay on and do it twice.
And that way I see everything.
Yeah, and we never got off. We just really looked.
Wow.
It was good.
Well, this is how you accommodate. This is how you figure it out.
You figure it out. Yeah.
Right. Because
that's very cool.
You have to be crafty. You have to. Sometimes the cobblestones were. Yeah, right. That was completely the European cities with cobblestones. Yeah, I guess.
But also the not seeing people in wheelchairs. I remember in Africa, I finally asked somebody, and they just said they have to stay in their huts. And I thought, wow. I mean,
right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's made of mud and urine, and I just wow.
Yeah.
That's one reason that we've really gotten into cruises, because number one, we can unpack one time, and
there you go.
Cruisers are set up that if I have a down day, there's always something for Marianne to do.
That's really nice, because if I have a down day, you have a down day.
Yeah, indeed. That's true.
That's a great idea. Wow.
Well,
So what are some of your challenges?
I know along the same line. What you were talking about, Marianne and Tom.
This is new stuff.
Again, Cynthia, when you're talking about chronic pain, it can manifest in so many different ways, in terms of physical limitations. And for Cynthia, she's a part-timer in a wheelchair. She can get out of the wheelchair. She can walk a bit. She can stand a bit. And when I say a bit, I mean, I'm just a short period of time. Then the pain starts kicking in the legs. She's got to sit down quickly. So the point is, when we go and take a flight somewhere, is that I got to get her on the plane first. I got to pre-board, because she can't board with the rest of the folks.
First on, last off. She can't just
kind of stop and start people putting stuff in overhead and stuff like that. So she's got to be the first one on. So not
first, but before the crowd comes.
One or two, maybe there's one ahead of you or something, so she can get on, and that's so she can have a straight shot to the seat, and that works very well as long as we're there in time. That's the kicker. You've got to plan. You got to make sure you give yourself a lot of time to get there. But
I like
and also, yeah, go ahead, Mary.
I think that it's one of the benefits of having chronic pain. You always get on the plane first. You don't.
There you go. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know.
You do.
Yeah, and it
You
seems
can
like those
have
lines.
a cheap seat, but you're going on first. You got all the room. I love that part. And to me, it's a benefit.
I'm going to think
Point
about
well
you next
made,
time I
Marianne.
get on a plane.
Right. I
Marianne.
mean, with all the fees now they're connecting.
That's
You know,
true.
airlines, they
That's
want you
true.
to
I
pay
like
to be
that.
able to board early. But
That's
anyway,
true.
so that's the silver lining. There's no doubt about it. And the other one, of course, is when we're traveling. I'm the one pushing her. She can't self. She can't. We don't have an electric wheelchair. We have a manual, and she can't push her own herself. So I have to push her. So that's the other thing we have to. The challenge is that we have to keep luggage and items that we're dragging around with us to a minimum, because I'm the guy that's hanging onto the luggage and pushing the young lady in the wheelchair. The finger goes in there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm sure Marianne and I could talk for days.
He won't
about
ask for help, and even when people say, "Sir, can I help you?" It's no. So that's something we have to work.
Yeah. I know. Then my daddy's from Oklahoma, type of thing. Everybody takes care of their own business.
Okay.
Nobody asks for help. But anyway, I'm getting much better about that. Yeah.
For me, a big problem is I don't say I'm in a wheelchair when I make the reservation. But when I show up in the wheelchair, they automatically put me in an ADA compliant room. Can't use it because I walk in the room and I don't use my shower. Can't get soaking wet,
Right.
And so that doesn't work. So then we have to change rooms, and that kind of drives me crazy because I'll even say, please don't put me in an ADA room, and they will. It's just really interesting. And then once we get to the room, finally when we change rooms, we have to find a shower stool, which is that's a whole saga. And I've seen John down at the pool finding, little plastic, chairs that will double as shower stools. Yeah. So that's one of my challenges. And then also medication, figuring out, like I'm on a benzodiazepine. So when I take that, it's just before I go to sleep. And we were in Europe. I was going to speak at the World Health Organization.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the train and I took my benzodiazepine and I couldn't stay awake. So then now we've started figuring out, well, now we know how to figure out, how to take half at a certain time and half at another time.
With the time change.
With the time change, I'm sorry.
Everything involved, yeah. Right.
And then also we make sure that John carries half of my medication and I carry half. And
that's in case,
in case, we get mugged.
One or the other goes missing, at least she's going to, have, because when you're
medication is a big thing.
Yeah.
That did just remind me of, we were in New York, whatever it was, several years ago, and we took a train.
Took a bus.
To see a friend. They had bought a new restaurant, and we went to see them in Pennsylvania. And on the way back, we got in a cab in New York City. I won't go into the whole details, but they stole all our very, very cleverly stole our clothes and our medication. And
what a nightmare.
His diabetes, he had nothing afterwards. It was quite a while. It was quite a struggle. We had to call doctors and see if we could get more in New York and everything. Things happen.
Things do
happen.
I
was thinking the time you got hit with the metal bar, and we thought, they were saying in French, if he loses his supper tonight, bring him back in. And I'm to the hospital. I'm thinking, I haven't been able to drive since I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah, that was at the
things do happen.
I took a.
It would never restrict me from engaging in life and expanding my vision.
No.
I mean, stuff happens anywhere, every day.
No matter
whether you're
healthy or not.
Pain.
It's true.
Yes, but especially when you're not looking for it. But
people do get robbed in this country as well.
So that's a good segue into our next question.
Which is, we've been saying some of the travel tips, but what are some things that can maybe help people travel better with pain and as a caregiver?
Travel better. Is that one of them?
Because you guys have been saying some things. One thing that I do is because I get really cold, and he doesn't let me travel much. I'm sorry, he doesn't let me carry, pack too much. I wear layers on the plane. So I even wear wool thermals and I kind of take them off. And that way it's like, I'm not really packing, them, but I get to have kind of more of a wardrobe. So I like doing that. Yeah. Layers on the plane and it keeps me warm.
Because you have an issue with getting cold. You just said, right. So there you go. So layers come in real handy. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah. And then also for me, like because I want to exercise is so important, movement, we don't move enough sometimes when we're on long flights. And so I will go to great lengths to find hotels, not just with a, pool where you can, cool off in, but really I'm a lap swimmer. So I try to find really, big pools. And so that I can get those swims in. And I also do ballet Pilates on the floor as soon as we get to Europe, we unpack and I'm on that floor doing ballet Pilates. So I got to move, So that's been really important. That's a tip that keeps me feeling good when I travel.
I think the main tip for me has been our building in a day for me to recover. Basically, right at the beginning and sometimes at the end, but I can be good for one day. Or I could see museums one activity, and then the next day I'm down. It's the only way I've got of managing the pain. So I let Marianne have the opportunity. I don't let Marianne have the opportunity. Sorry, misspoke there. Marianne has the opportunity to do whatever she needs to do on that day off, and we cover everything that way.
I did want to expound on that. Basically, I do when it's personal travel, I handle all the arrangements. And so let's say we're going to Paris again, and he wants to see how many things you want to see. He wants to see 5 things. We're going to go 10 days.
Right. You allow enough time.
All the extra days. Then when he's in for that day, I go and very often, this was especially true when we did this in Rome, I would spend the day, or not the day, whatever, a few hours going to the place that he wants to go to the next day to see if there is wheelchair accessibility, if there's a lift involved, will somebody be there at that lift to operate it, and will that person know how to operate it? All these things are based on past experience where they had a lift, but nobody knew how to work it. So I might do all the setup, for the next day. Then for Paris, let's say I'm going to go. I did this one time. I went to the catacombs. He's never going to go in the catacombs.
Sure.
His wheelchair can't, and he's too tall for the catacombs.
Wow.
And because I've traveled so much, I'm invariably going to go see a friend somewhere in Paris.
There you go. How nice.
There's lots to do on the day off. I love it.
Well, it's like you got to be smart when you're disabled. I mean, and the caregivers. I mean,
yes,
we figure stuff out. We find the ways, and then people try to help, which is nice. But it's like now we figure this out. And we figure it out as we go. I guess that's one of the rules here with travel. You figure it out as you go.
It's amazing, Marianne. I'm talking to you, of course, obviously, as a caregiver, how hyper vigilant we get, how hyper aware we get about our environments when with our people, because it's just like, I mean, with Cynthia, my God, one little thing can set her. I mean, one spill, one mishap,
one trip,
can really set us on. I'm sure you can relate to that. And so it's almost like I get a spidey sense. I almost get like a sixth sense around me where everything around me is, and so that does draw away, it draws away a little bit from the experience because, if you're able-bodied, you can just let it roll.
But a flare would draw away a lot more.
So, but anyway,
I hate flying home when I'm out.
I don't have any problem doing that. It's almost like you become, it's like a sixth sense you develop.
Tom.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me as a person with pain is that I recognize that we're both individuals, and we have different goals when it comes to travel, and it's important for me that Marianne feels like she can do what she wants to do, and so it incorporates a down day, and then we get together and we do what we want to do together. But I take a great deal of pleasure out of knowing that Marianne's having a good time.
Well, and then I get back to all about it,
Yeah.
I have a question. Absolutely. So when you guys travel, because you have the down days, which we don't do. We just do too much. But
we could use a little bit.
I know we should do that. But when you go, when we travel for work, we ask for an extra day to go sightseeing. before we go home. Do you do that, or do you ask for a down day, or either?
When I travel for business, I always say I need a day early, to arrive a day early. Now, I
Okay.
usually cannot get a down day or a day extra, but the extra day in front allows me to decompress, if you will.
After the flight,
And
that makes sense.
And I go out.
And Marianne is able to do whatever she needs to do.
That's nice.
Nice.
It's a partnership, and you got to
this is all about a partner. Partners in pain. Right?
Partners in pain.
It is a partnership. I love that. That is our poll quote today. It is a partnership.
And I tapped on this. We
touched on
it. That's what exactly I did earlier. Again, my big tip, and this is something I'm trying to get my head wrapped around, is to accept help, to accept assistance. I mean, qualified assistance, because recently we came back from Iceland. We had about an hour and a half connecting flight back to LA, but we had to go through.
You're still traumatized by this.
I know,
still
but it was at
traumatized.
O'Hare, and it was clear across the other side of the airport. And of course, anybody knows O'Hare knows that thing is a monster. And if this guy didn't step up, he was, he's a dedicated airport employee that helps people with mobility issues get from point A to point B. And I usually go, oh no, thank you, I can handle it like an idiot. But
sorry.
I had the great wisdom this time to accept his help, and we made it obviously more than enough time, but there's just no way I could have made it. So my point being, if you find somebody who can give you assistance, quality assistance,
like when we went through Istanbul, and we would never have made our connecting flight if not for a man that helped me. There's just
that guy was.
Excuse me. And we made it.
He was on
help
wings.
is always so good.
Flying.
So any exciting travel plans coming up, Marianne and Tom?
I want to say one other thing.
Oh yeah, okay. Absolutely, 100%.
I'm sorry.
Have time? Do we have time?
Oh, yes, we do.
Please.
We do.
Okay. One thing people have always, because we have traveled a lot in our marriage, and have always asked, well, tell me about the cuisine. And we never can tell them, because Tom doesn't want to use what energy he has to go out to a meal.
Interesting.
So I generally either bring the meal in, or if we're in a home exchange or a kitchen, then I bring groceries in. And this is really good, because then on the day I go out for the whole day, he can get up and make a sandwich, a glass of, have a soda, whatever. And then on the other days, I make the dinner.
I almost can't believe you're saying this, because this is exactly what we do. No matter where we go, you were always bringing the food in, and nobody ever gets it.
Yeah.
Isn't that, you're the first people we've ever talked to who have said something similar. And that just blows me away.
Because it does, like you said, Marianne, it takes time and energy to be able to go out.
So here's the question that I forgot to ask. So
she's okay. There we go. Go ahead.
So what is the payoff? I mean, travel is hard. So why do we keep traveling? We could just stay home and turn the lights off and play with our cats.
Yeah. Why don't we just take it easy? Okay.
So before we married, I told Tom I have a deep passion for travel, and I'm always going to travel. And he said, that's great. I've been in the Air Force. I've traveled the world. You'll go for it. He was able-bodied then. Then 18 months later, after we were married, he was not. And we began this process of him learning to accept it, and me to accept it, to accept that he was disabled. We weren't going to have the life I want to have. But eventually he said one day, I had gone off to Hong Kong, I'd gone to China, I'd gone to Russia, I'd, been to Honduras, wherever. And he said, I can have pain in LA, or I can have pain in Paris.
We've said that too. Same words, almost identical.
Yes.
And it's one of the great benefits is it's a different kind of intimacy when you're traveling as a caregiver. And because, as John said, you're watching the environment around you. You're taking things out of their way. You're looking at the chair, if somebody wants to sit down. how's the back going to be supported? I mean, it's constant. There's a different kind of intimacy, and also you're away from your real life, which is at home and involves your business, your career, your hobbies, whatever. It's fantastic to travel.
The passion there.
That's a lot.
How can we not? It's like so exciting to travel and get out of our routine and see new places and see new cultures. And like my mom always said, the best way to learn is to travel. And she was right. And I love, like, whether just despite the language somebody speaks or maybe their housing or the climate they live in or what their clothing or food is like, that we're all the same. But it's so exciting to see the differences.
Oh yeah.
But I think that we can get kind of closed in, and if we travel, our minds open up. And I think that would be a far more peaceful world if more of us traveled a lot and met each other and found out that I had a long conversation with some women in burqas in Zanzibar, and I do not wear a burqa, far from it. And we were the same. We all need the same things. We're all, I just love that. Your mom once said, what do they have? I'm sorry, I loved your mom, but what do they have over in Europe that they don't have here? And I finally said to her, culture. And I finally did say that. Because she
Eiffel
didn't.
Tower and the Big Ben.
Different cultures. It's just exciting that we all meet and get to know each other and understand that I'm not afraid of you because you're different. We're really the same, So I don't know. That to me, that's a really big part. Tom.
One of the things that means so much to me is being able to be with somebody I love on a trip, and we're totally separated from the normal garbage that we have in our daily lives. We're together, and for me, seeing the world through Marianne's eyes just changes everything. That's
so romantic.
Well, it does. It's
well done.
one of these things where we get closer together, we laugh more.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
And there's an excitement. It's just
there is. Even if she beats me at cards, which she always does.
For us, it's backgammon. Every time.
Yeah. I get my backhand kicked all the time in backhand. So
wow.
So it's it's good though. It's a shared,
I don't want to play Marianne. No. Yeah. What a great conversation. I mean, go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I had to boil up everything, it's to be able to travel, you have to be willing to adapt. And for me, adaptation is the key word when it comes to managing chronic pain. You have to adapt to the situation. And having a caregiver makes it that much easier for a person with pain. And my hat goes off to every caregiver who winds up shouldering at least half of the load, because I couldn't travel without her. I wouldn't want to, but I couldn't. There you go.
I couldn't either. So I mean, one time I was asked to come to England for work, and I remember I started. They didn't want to pay for John to come, and they wanted me to be representing CRPS, and I'm thinking, you guys aren't even getting it. I need, that's 101 CRPS. You need a caregiver. I end up, I think, I don't remember what happened, but I did go. But that's the thing. We need a caregiver.
Right.
And
you're right. And you're
see that.
Tom. Yeah. She couldn't travel without me, but I wouldn't want to travel without her. Oh. You see what I'm saying? You guys know this.
We got good guys, Marianne.
Well, I do.
We're holding on to you guys. What a great conversation. We're gonna have to continue this together. I mean, we could go on. I didn't even have time for the last question because we've gone over. I kind of knew we would, and we could talk forever. You guys are so great. Thank you so much for being our inaugural Partners in Pain couple panel. And we just loved it so much. We love you guys so much.
You guys are brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you
for your tremendous work for the chronic pain community. And we love you both.
Helping so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And everybody else, thank you for being here today for our inaugural Partners in Pain panel. And we learned so much from Tom and Marianne. I don't know if I can say her last name correctly.
I have it written down here somewhere. Hold on.
Muellerleile. Muellerleile.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And Tom Norris, that one's easy. And we learned so much today about chronic pain and travel. And in the comment section below, please let us know your experiences. Where have you gone with chronic pain? Where do you want to go and still haven't gone? After watching this panel, did we embolden you? Are you going to go somewhere that you want to go now? Did you get some tips that are going to help you? Did you relate?
Yes.
Because Tom and Marianne and John and I are 4 inquiring minds who want to know.
Absolutely.
So you are John
I
Garrett.
am
Thank
John
you for
Garrett.
producing.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I have my coffee. As long as I got my coffee, I can do anything.
There you go.
There
Pretty
you go.
much.
Yeah.
I heard somebody laugh. Cynthia Toussaint
I am John Garrett.
at Women in Pain Nation.
There
We'll
it
see
is.
you really soon. Love
And-
to all of you. Take care and
Bon voyage.
have a great trip. Bye-bye, everybody. See you soon.